Hey everybody, and welcome to an all new episode of We're the New Adults. I'm your boy TJ Williams, and I'm be your host for this podcast. Episode 4, y'all. Episode 4. Thank y'all so much. I've gotten to 4 episodes. It's still so crazy to me because this started off as an idea, and I didn't know how I was gonna do it. Didn't know when I was gonna do it. Didn't know the name of it, honestly. And for me to be on episode 4, I'm just so grateful, so blessed. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. And without further ado, welcome to We're the New Adults. Episode 4, Post Grad Life. I graduated in December. This is the 6 month mark for my December graduates. So I just wanted to check in on us and really see how are we doing. Honestly, how are we doing mentally? Like how are we doing? And after graduation, things just happen so quickly. Like to be already 6 months out of graduation, it's like I can't even be like, oh, I just graduated. They like, oh, May? It's like, no, December. December's when I graduated. Not being in school anymore, we can't use that as an excuse. I used to love when people would ask me like, oh, how you been? What you been doing? Oh, just school. Been school stuff. School, home, work. Like that was my answer. So it's like now when people, oh, what you been doing? It's like, what have I been doing? Honestly, really. So that was definitely hard for me, especially right after graduation. They don't be lying. When they say people are gonna come up to you and like, oh, what's next? Oh, what are you doing? What's next for you? What's next for you? That is the truth. They will ask you that question as soon as you say, hey, how you doing? Oh, so what's next for you? Congratulations, what's next for? That's like literally the next thing they say. And I get it. Especially come from a small town. I pretty much it's a lot of people that know me. I know a lot of people, so of course people are like, "Oh, what are you gonna do next?" Honestly, and it's like I don't know. I don't know. I can't even tell you. I don't know. So my answer was, I'm just waiting on God, waiting on God. Like that was my answer, and that's a little tip for y'all, for all the post grads out there. If y'all don't have an answer for what people are asking you about how you been, how you doing, what's next, oh, just waiting on God. Put it in God's hand. Yep, that's the answer for you. But no, it not only was a bit annoying. Hate to say it, we don't like it. I'm speaking for all the post grads. We don't like it when y'all are constantly asking what's next. But it was not only annoying, but it got to be. I don't want to use the word depressing because I wasn't depressed, but it was a little sad. It really was, just because when you don't know what's next for you and people are asking you, it just makes you think you're like behind, or it makes you think like, okay, why don't I have it figured out yet? And not only that, there was definitely a point in my senior semester. I kind of had already made up this idea of what my life was going to look like after graduation. I knew where I wanted to go. I knew where I wanted to live and what I thought I wanted to work, and I just didn't know how I was going to get there. But the thing where I messed up at was I had the plan with no platform. That was the problem. So I had the plan, but no money. Like I was not putting my money aside how I should have. And I just was not aligning my ducks so that after graduation, I would be ready for all this planning that I had done. So when graduation came along, I was like, ooh, I'm not ready, mama. Can I stay a few more days at the house? Can I stay a few more days at the house, a few more months, maybe? Look. So it definitely, of course, my mom, she was like, yeah, TJ, of course. Like, it wasn't even, she don't want me to leave. Also, she doesn't really want me to leave. So it was no problem with me staying home. And that was something I was grateful for, having a mom that let me stay at home at college. I went to college in my hometown, so letting my mom letting me be able to stay at the house and go to work and go to school, and without having to have those extra responsibilities for rent and all that extra stuff. So, like I said, had the plan, no platform. So graduation came, wasn't ready. I'm like, dang. So now what? Let me find a job, because that's one thing that I feel like is the strategic, generic way of going about things. You get your degree, then you get your job. You're 9 to 5. Hate to say it, but that's the way it goes. You do all those years of school just to end up going to work. And I never liked the idea of that. I'm gonna be honest. I never liked the idea of me doing all this schoolwork to be in a job, and my job actually would have been fun. It would have been fun to some extent. And let me say this: when I went to college, I feel like they force you to jump into a major that you really have no idea about, and you really don't know what it is that you want to do. But they're like, pick a major anyway. So you pick a major, and then as we grow and evolve as people, the next semester you're like, I really don't want to do that no more. Then the next semester you possibly are the same. I really don't want to do it no more, but I don't want to change my major, so let me just stick it out. So with that being said, I feel like a lot of people end up being in jobs that they really don't like doing. It is very few people, and I feel like I can look up the statistics on it about the percentage of people who actually enjoy their job. And that was one thing that I said I will not dedicate myself to a job that I have no passion for. I'm gonna be honest. I will not dedicate myself to a job that I have no passion for. Especially a long term career. Absolutely not. But when I got to college, I was like, okay, I like being in front of the camera. I like working the camera. What do they have? I found broadcast journalism. Wasn't too heavy about the journalism, but I'm like, broadcast, being on TV. Yeah, that sounds like some TJ want to do. So, with that being said, I picked communications, broadcast journalism, and I started my freshman year in it and finished out my senior year in it. And I will say, I grew a love for that department. I grew a love for broadcasting and journalism. Was it my passion? No. Was I good at it? Yes. And that was something that I had to ask myself, like, okay, I am good at this, but at the same time, I did just want to just be on TV. Like that was my main thing with getting into this was being on TV. So it's like if I don't have an actual passion for telling stories as far as like news stories and I just want to be on TV, then that to me was not enough for me to dedicate myself to being a news reporter after college, which brings me to my point. So I chosen not to pursue my degree, and I think that sounds crazy to a lot of people. Like you did all that work just to not. And it's like, yeah, I am. I knew from the jump that I had so much within me. I have so many things that I like to do, so many gifts that I want to bring out into the world. So to put myself in a box, what I feel like is a box of being a news reporter or just being that one job that I went to school for, it didn't align with what I really wanted and my heart's desires. It didn't. And it was very hard for me to come to the point of saying I'm not doing it because it is those thoughts in the back of your mind like, dang, I did do all those years of school. Dang, what am I going to do? You know? And I'm a believer that God will order your steps, and He's ordered my steps this whole entire way to this point of me being right now. And when I say He will give you confirmation on things that you may have the most doubt about, He will give you confirmation on it. And I feel like for the longest time, I wasn't getting confirmation from God. It was like He was literally letting me make my own decisions by watching, like literally waiting on me to make my own decision. And that was hard for me because it's like, God, I know you're my father. You trying to let me make my own decisions, but it's like I don't know. I don't know what decision to make. And it took me asking for advice. And I talked about this on my last podcast. I'm constantly asking people for advice. Oh, so what do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? And once again, they can tell me what they think I should do, but it got to the point where it's like I'm graduating from college now. I have nothing holding me to this city that I'm in. Nothing at all. Like, of course, friends and family will always be there, but they'll call away, drive away, plane away. They'll be okay. And I think the confirmation started coming in whenever I started to fully let go and let God. I know that's something we talk about. I know that's something we talk about as Christians is letting go and let God. And it's like, how do you do that? How do we do that? And I asked my mom, I was like, how do I let go? Like, even if I'm still, thinking about it, like, is that truly letting go? And she's like, my mom was like, no. Letting go means literally letting go. Not thinking about it. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But literally letting God be the author and finisher of our faith. And that's hard. It's a hard thing to do, especially being a post grad. Okay? But I think about it, it was like I was really willing to let my dreams be put on hold so that I could go the generic route that my professors, my teachers, my older family members what they think or what they thought that I should be doing. Um, and no, I haven't gotten this far in my life by going with the majority. I've always tried to stay in the lane of my own. I've tried to remain different and do things my own way, and it's got me to this point. It really has. And when I think about that, and when I thought about that, I'm like, God has really made a way for me to be the originator and to be making my own path. So I was like, why stop here? Why stop here? Why, whenever I graduate, why should I lose that trust in him, lose that faith in him, that he's not going to bring me to the things that he already said is mine? This path that I'm choosing to go on may not be easy. You know, it may be more hardships than the one that everyone else wants you to go on. But I had to come up in my mind and say, it's okay. Like, this is something that I'm willing to do, willing to risk to get to the places that I want to go. And the places that, like I said, God has already said is mine. So some may call it a leap of faith. Some may call it crazy. But I trust in God. And I know that he didn't bring me this far just to leave me. It was a point in time where I was kind of relying on still being stuck in my hometown to not make any progression at all. I'm like, oh, there is no way I can just make any type of progression while still being here. Like, there's no way. And, you know, I had a conversation with my coworker, my good coworker, and he told me, he was like, why are you waiting to bring your visions to life? He was like, you're using you moving as an excuse. He was like, why not go ahead and start it now and then let the move be your elevation? So when he said that, obviously it took a little bit more pondering, but that was what I call also the confirmation that God gave. And he gave it through someone else. You know, thank God. I thank God for that conversation, because that's what got me to this podcast today. And I could not make an episode without giving thanks to him, because he knows that day. That day I was so down. I didn't know what was next in my life. I didn't know what to do in my life. And I'm just like, I don't know, you know, and I came to him with this idea, and I was just like, you know, man, I really been thinking about this, and I just don't know how I'm going to do it. And he was like, man, that's a great idea. You know, so with him encouraging me and having people around you that believe in you and believe in your dreams and support your dreams, you know, and support whatever decision that is that you want. My dad has always been the one to be like, it's your choice. It's your decision. He has always been that person to let me make my own mistakes. You know, he may tell me his opinion, you know, but at the end of the day, he knows that I'm going to do what I want to do at the end of the day. And he's always just been there to be a cheerleader, and to have two parents that have been just both supportive to me is the reason why that my post-grad life has not been terrible. It hasn't. I've been using this time to enjoy myself, find myself. Having that freedom to enjoy post-grad life is so refreshing. I'm so glad I did not just jump into the workforce. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with that, but God needed me to take a step back and realize, like, okay, TJ, you said you wanted this. Really think about it, put the action in, and get to it. So I'm grateful to God that he's always leading me and guiding me and ordering my steps. I want to say to all the post grads out there, it is okay to not know what you want to do next. It is okay. It don't matter how long it takes. Because one thing about it, two things for sure, you still got your degree. And I think I find myself forgetting about all the accomplishments that have led me up to this point. And I be having to remember, like, okay, God, you did this for me. You did that for me. You're going to do it again. God is the same God that he's always been. He's going to pull through for you the way he always has pulled through for you. And you just have to keep the faith. Stay prayed up and don't rush it. I promise. Like, this is 6 months after graduation. I did not think I would be here, but I'm very happy. I know that the places that God is taking me are way more than what I can imagine. And I can't wait to see it all come to life. So, post grads, we okay. We okay. But I just wanted to check up on y'all. It is the 6-month mark of 2024. That is so crazy to me. Like, so crazy that we're halfway through the year. But that just means we got 6 more months to get it together. So we got this. I thank y'all so much for tuning into this episode. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.